Hi, my name is Mustafa and welcome to MP Guitar. Today we'll take a look at the fingerstyle arrangement of Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin on the ukulele. I made this arrangement a few months ago, and since then a lot of you have messaged me asking me for the tabs and a tutorial. Now the tabs are available on the video itself, and the idea is that you can learn it by watching the video for free. The downside is that you have to pause the video every now and then. Now if you're interested in the PDF itself, it's available on my Patreon, so if you're interested in that, the link is down in the video description. The arrangement is divided into 7 different riffs, from Riff A to Riff G. That's Riff A, B, C, D, E, F, G. If you want to know the form, I'll write it down here in a rough format, but if you want to hear it, I strongly recommend you go and you watch the arrangement and note where the riffs are. Some of them repeat and some of them don't. Having said that, for today, we will look at each different riff as if it's a building block and discuss it. Once you learn them, it's up to you to stitch them together. Alright, now that we have the form out of the way, pick up your ukulele and let's get started. To start Riff A, you play an A minor chord with your second finger at the 2nd fret. And then you place your first finger at the 1st fret, 3rd finger at the 2nd fret. Then you slide your 3rd finger up. And now you bar the 2nd fret. Now you curve the bar up so that you can play the open strings. And this way you maintain that 2nd fret. Now comes the difficult part. You start by playing almost like a G major chord, but you don't have the 1st finger pressed. You play that 2nd fret with the 2nd finger, 3rd fret with the 3rd finger, and you slide your 2nd finger up a fret, and you put your 4th finger at the 5th fret. So it's hard to get. So practice this one well. So Riff A slowly becomes. Now the first time you finish Riff A, you connect it by playing. So that's 1st finger on the 2nd fret and 4th finger at the 5th fret. Now the second time you play Riff A, you finish by playing the 2nd fret and the 4th fret. And you connect it to Riff B by playing the open string. Riff B starts with. Now you use your 3rd finger, 2nd finger, 1st finger. Notice how I didn't bar. 2nd finger, that's a hammer on. And notice how I picked the 2nd fret and picked the open fret with the hammer on the 3rd fret. Now you play again 2, 4, connected. Now you're going to use your 2nd finger for that 3rd fret. 3rd finger. Now, it's very important. When you play the open, you replace your 2nd finger with your 3rd finger. So then you can play the bottom part of a G chord. Now, the reason we do that jump is to avoid having to bar. Nobody wants to bar. So that's 2nd fret, 2nd finger, sorry. 3rd finger. And this finishes the first 4 bars of Riff B. Now it's a little bit different. You put your 4th finger at the 5th fret. Now you can use a bar. Alternatively, you can then slide up your 3rd finger. Obviously, playing it this way is easier, but you're going to have to stop the chord to get the bar. But if you play it this way, you don't have to stop the chord to get the bar since your finger is free. Similar to how Riff B came out of the end of Riff A, Riff C comes out of the end of Riff B, which is... So make sure you connect them. And Riff C starts with that A minor chord. So that's first finger for the second fret, third finger. And notice how these two simply slide down a fret and you just put your second finger. So that's... So that's... I use a hammer-on here, but you can pick them. But the hammer-on makes it sound more vocal. So that's... Now first finger. Fourth finger for the fifth fret is going to slide up to the seventh fret. And notice how I'm not using my thumb. That's an octave. First fret on the fourth fret. Fourth finger on the seventh fret. Now I'm going to slide my fourth finger down to the fifth fret. We've already learned that in Riff A. Now the second part of Riff C. Right, so that's... Or you can play, if you want to hammer all three of them. Sorry. Now the rhythm of that part is actually... But if you cannot play the syncopations, just play it straight. Riff D is actually the second part of Riff C, but the reason I labeled it Riff D is because it feels like it's a different section. So let's check it out. That's fourth finger for the seventh fret. That's a bar on the second fret. Now there are so many ways to finger that one, so you can really do whatever you want. For example, you can go fourth finger, using your second finger instead of your first finger. Whichever one works for you, you can try that. Now Riff D, once you get to the end of those 4 bars, you actually repeat to Riff C. So Riff C is actually 8 bars with 4 bars of Riff D added to it. The second time you finish this verse run, you play, which is simply a C chord, G chord. Now we start with Riff E, which is, so that's first finger on the 3rd fret, second finger 4th fret, 3rd finger 5th fret. Right, so these are the chords. Bar. Make sure you don't strum that first string. So. Now a new chord. Okay, so. Now we go into Riff F. Riff F. So the only tricky thing about Riff F is that when you, the second part, you play the 4th fret. Sorry, you use your 4th finger for the 7th fret. Then you slide it down. Then you have to slide it down even more to that 3rd fret. Sorry, you have to let go. And then you're ready to play Riff E again. But this time it's a little bit different. Right, so that's you letting go of that bar. And if you cannot do that, you can just keep the bar. Nobody's gonna notice. And back to the. So make sure you watch out for the. Right? Now, of course, if you don't want to add the. This is just a vocal part. If you don't want to do that, it's entirely up to you. Finishing up with the arrangement, we play the last riff, which is Riff G. And I wrote it under free time, because really it's up to you how you want to play it. But the basic chords are, so that's open, then your 2nd fret, then your 3rd fret, and you go down, up, down really quickly. Solo comes. Now obviously the way you finish that, you know, honestly every time I play it, I play that section a little bit differently. This is why I wrote free time. The idea is you so you could either listen to the song and try to nail it perfectly, or just use the opportunity to see if you can develop a feel for it. Alright, so this wraps up the 7 riffs that I've talked about, Riff A to G. Make sure you practice them, memorize them, and then watch the actual arrangement so that you know what the form is supposed to be like. Enjoy this piece, it's very beautiful, it's difficult, so it will teach you a lot if you're able to actually play it. And if you are able to play it, why don't you just record it and then send it to me? Post your questions in the comment section down below.